This is John T for the Boxing Voice, and I'm joined today by head trainer from Legends Gym in London, Jamie Williams. How you doing, Jamie?
Yeah, very well, very well.
Good, good. You've just been putting some of the lads through sparring in there.
Come down. One of the boys was sparring down here, young Jimmy. So Will's had a busy night like today sparring, so I thought I'd pop down and have a look.
Excellent.
My gym today, but yeah, done all right.
Cool. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself. We've not had you on the site before, but you've got such a long career in boxing and some great stories to tell. I think you used to train Will Jones himself, did you not?
Yeah. I trained Will when he gave up kickboxing and he started renting my old gym off us. It seems like probably 6-7 years ago now. Started having going boxing and we got friendly and that, and he ended up getting his own gym, and we sort of like worked this one fight we're doing a little bit together with, and he comes here because I can't make it all the time because I'm busy doing other commitments and stuff. And he's only 5 minutes down the road, so we sort of like sparring down here, and I'll do stuff at my gym, and it's going well. Like it's going quite well.
It's good that you've got a good relationship with him.
Yeah. I do any of my fighters that I've had. I'm still. I just stay friends with them, like lifelong friends. You just do. I think it's the sport of boxing does that.
Yeah, it's like a close community.
Yeah.
It's excellent then when you need sparring because you.
He's busy down here. We do different things. I'm always at academies. I've got a couple of academies at some colleges, and I run the MTK London academies. So that's what my time's really set up with. And,
so what does that look like then? The MTK academies. Tell us
to
about
be honest, COVID's killed it at the moment because there's been so many like rules, regulations, restrictions, and blah blah blah, and so it really has slowed it down. But it's going to be a big thing going forward. And I'll do it at we rent West Ham gym and we do some at our gym. But to be honest, the last couple of months I've had to do like one Zoom class. I send them out on the run. They do 1 day gym based, but we're not too sure what the guidelines are, what we can do at the moment because of England boxing and stuff. So it's we're sort of doing a lot of it online at the moment. That's all we can do until I think it's all changing. I think professionals can train under their professional licence.
Yes.
But amateur boxing, I've got an amateur club, and I think we're allowed back June. I'm not too sure. It's all a bit like.
That's what it sounds like. Things will be back to normal a bit more then. So is this the MTK thing you do, the academy? Is this how you kind of find your next fighters?
Yes and no, really. I mean. One of my old fighters is Adam Hart. He's now running MTK London, manages lots of fighters. So I was his pro coach when he came to me. I've known Adam 20-25 years, something like that. And he got, I think MTK identified the work I was doing at other colleges, and that's my passion is the kids and that. And I've said on another interview, I want to teach a kid from nothing and take them all the way. I just think that'd be a good thing to do. And the MTK academies, they took notified. I'm good with kids. I'm just good with kids, and I'll get a bond with them. I'm getting old now. I feel I'm going a bit grey now, but I'm still young at heart, and I think the kids respond to things that I show them. And I've got to, I just know that's my best thing. I mean, I've had some good fighters. That have done quite well, but I think my skill is, you know, they say polished turds. Like it's an old saying in boxing. I like working with raw talent and just making them become better men, better individuals, and I think that's the sport of boxing is the best thing for that. There's not many sports like it. It's one-to-one, and I think you find out what kids are about. I said this in another interview. It's true. It's not a team sport. It's like sorry, swear. It's you. It's you, and you can have all the fucking this and that, blah blah blah. When you get in there, you find, and I think that if you take it on in any walk of life, you're on your own. Like, no one fucking like mum and dad helps out there. You're on your own. You spend more of your time as a grown up in life, so fucking grow up quickly and learn. I think boxing makes kids grow up because it's them on their own.
It's so interesting. You can just see your passion coming out of you when you're talking about the lads that you bring through. What I find interesting on that is quite often when you come across trainers, certainly that are bringing someone up from the youth ranks through the amateurs, then they turn pro, that they don't really want to let them go. And I'd understand that because I'd be thinking that maybe this is my time. But you actually quite happily let them go.
If they want to stay with me, if they don't, like I've had fighters leave me and fighters stay, and I've got a close relationship with any fighter that's even left this and that. But like, if something's meant to be, it's meant to be. And the fighters that start, I've had a fighter in the southern area, taught him from nothing. Another fighter win an English title. I've got a couple of kids going pro now who's never boxed before. So I know what I'm good at, and I know what I can do. And if fighters are going to leave, they're going to leave. But I've always stayed friendly with them. It's just what works for you at the time. But I've got no problem with teaching a kid and passing him on somewhere, and if you gel, he stays with you. Like, you can't, I don't think you can be in boxing and think, well, I've taught him that, he owes me something back. That, I think it's the wrong attitude to have. Personally, that's just how I like. So I'll give a lot of my time and give a lot of my advice, and not just about boxing. I'm just becoming a man, like, or just becoming a grown-up individual. And if I get something back out of it, then I'll do. But if I don't, then that's life, isn't it?
You can see the reward you get out of it is just helping them. I mean, there must be some of these lads that sort of like need help away from the ring as well, because
100%, yeah.
They got problems. And
well, a lot of the kids I've got, so I run I've got an academy at 2 colleges, one at Redbridge College, which is local to here, and one at Hackney College. And so with the college is called New City Colleges, so they also got Haven College, about 5 or 6 colleges around this area. So my amateur club's called New City ABC. So the grand scheme is that we're going to get the fighters from the colleges and they come and fight for the club. But a lot of the kids that pick the boxing education are not necessarily boxers. They don't fit in the football, and they don't fit, and they find boxing. And all my mates, like, not take the piss, they say, we're changing lives because they said these kids are getting fitter, they're getting a bit of confidence, and whatever way you want to look at it, kids want to fight, people want to fight, like they do, in a controlled environment, no atmosphere, which I'll create at my gym, and I think Will's learned off me to create here. Like, no egos, like get in, have a fight, and learn the aspects of boxing. And kids do want to fight, like they do, like everyone's got an aggressive side to but learn to control it. And I just think boxing is the best sport for that. So you can let kids express themselves, and necessarily the kid ain't got the confidence outside the ring might be light up when the bell goes.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great sport for that. But I'm getting good feedback that some of the kids that I'm working in the colleges are not necessarily going to be boxers, but it's benefiting their other things, like they're doing maths and English research. The college setup is, but there's a lot of forgotten kids out there. Like, they've not done their GCSEs, they're not going to a 6th form, and they get dumped in these colleges. And there's a lot of misguided kids out there. Some, like, you could call them benefit kids, like they're sort of been had, you know, they've got no real guidance by their parents, and they're just chucked in these colleges, and the parents still receive benefits till the age of 18, and there's a lot of horror stories. I've got 4 kids of my own, and my world starts and ends with them. So when you hear some of these kids that are a bit, they need a father figure or need guiding, it's not really their fault. Like, it's just that they need something that they can get into, and boxing does that.
Do you know what it's done? For the viewers and the fans watching this, I've never met you till today.
Yeah,
I feel like I know you, but so I'm going to say a compliment, but I don't know you. It feels like you're almost one of those unsung heroes. You know, like you get sports personality years. You've been in it years. You're happy to just be in the background.
To be honest, I've done one interview before, waffled on for 10 minutes, and but I don't do a lot of social media content. I don't do a lot of links, and don't do a lot of filming. I just don't. I just like being in the gym and
old school.
Yeah, I suppose, and I just like being like. I think that's the best thing you could, like. If someone said to me, talk to a camera and show boxing, I'd struggle.
Yeah.
If you put me in a room with 20 people and demonstrating tank, or you just see me do some pads with the fighters and that, like, I flow and I feel comfortable, but I'm not.
There's nothing wrong with that, mate. It's just that old school mentality. I love it.
No. But there's a guy in there now, like, he's a YouTuber, like Mark. I'm going to have a photo done.
I just had a chat with him.
My kids are going to love it, because I think I went to that fight that he was on about, and we paid silly money for the tickets. And I'll be honest, I sat there pissed off, thinking, fucking hell, like, we can't get 100 people to go and watch me, mate. Like, one of my fights at the York Hall, there was fucking 8,000 people watching the YouTube fight. I think, this is bollocks. Like, this is bad for the sport, but it's gone full circle now. It ain't bad for the sport, because it's brought circle. Fucking, I want to do boxing. Am I right swearing?
You're right. Yeah.
That, like, so Joe Wello and all these, Jake Paul. Yeah, they're not come up the grassroots of boxing that we all believe in, but they've brought so much fucking attention to the sport now, where it's brilliant, because I love the sport. I've said it on. If I was a millionaire, I'd still get up and wanna change kids' lives and get involved and do it, because I just love it.
Sorry, all I was going to say, just before I forget. No, I like it. But on the back of what you just said before I forget, I tell you what. At first, I was like, YouTubers boxing, and then you've got someone like you've got Billy Joe Saunders on the undercard of a YouTuber who's a world champion. However, I'll give you an example. My oldest, I've got kids like you. My oldest is 20, and he's not like me. Don't like sport at all. And then he's very much comes up to me and goes, "You watching the boxing at the weekend?" And I'm like, "Why are you asking?" He goes, "I'll watch it with you." And it was Jake Paul because he's a gamer, and I think what it does is it's a crossover because you will get some other fans that come into it because of YouTubers.
Things have changed. They're like the old school. You think, right, you've got to do this. You've got to box amateur and do the scoreboard, do all this thing, go there, blah blah blah. No, they can get a pro license straight away. I mean, I think like when Freddie Flintoff done it, and I remember watching that, and that was like that was done for TV rights and stuff like that. But like these YouTube fights can fight a bit. Like they're watching, they can fight. But it definitely has, what they've done transcended the sport of grassroots boxing a little bit, but it's brought more attention back to the start. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't agree with it first. I think we paid like 200 quid a ticket. And I was fucking, I think it was the XL or might have been the Copper Box.
Yeah.
Could not believe the noise. And I think the week previous I'd had a fighter in the 6th round of York Hall and you could hear a fucking pin drop. And it was like...
It's because they're celebrities in their own right already.
Yeah, what a show, brilliant. And I know the others have been bigger since. Like.
And it brings money and new fans, that's great.
Yeah,
while we're on the YouTubers then, because you brought that up, what are your thoughts around Jake Paul fighting Tommy Fury potentially? Is that a silly fight?
Silly fight. I mean, like Tommy Fury, I don't know him personally, but I think he's a good fighter. He's still got a load of potential and he hasn't fulfilled his potential yet. But I mean, listen, it's probably going to happen because money talks, and it's so easy now. Like they call it beef, don't they? Like you can have a bit of beef, like just do a video, this goes viral, the fight's on. The world's changed. The internet has changed the world, and social media and Instagram, and we've just got to move with the times. But listen, if Jake Paul can put up a good show, but to me there's a mismatch. I think he might be good, Jake Paul. I'm not saying it, and I see the fights he had and that, and he definitely looks like he trained hard. But I can't see it being a competitive fight. I don't know.
While we're on it, then Fury in the name, we'll stick with that name. So, a man of your experience in the game, what are your thoughts if and when it happens? Who wins out of AJ and Tyson?
I've always thought Tyson, right, because I just love his. The fact that he's now athletic, of course, but like when he wasn't athletic, he still got away with just his movement, and he's got such a great style, fluid movement, stuff like that. But Joshua has brought in other trainers, and he's been loyal to McCracken. He's doing work with I think it's Ben Whittaker's uncle. I can't believe he's on YouTube, but very.
He brought a couple in with him, yeah.
Clayton or something, like very to the point what he does and correct, and he's also brought in Angel Fernandez, who's a lot more like hooking and dynamic. So he's ticking every box. But also I think Fury is a great fight. Personally, I think if you're going to have a bet, Joshua early, I think if it goes past 6, I think Fury could, if Joshua starts tiring and gassing, he might not gas much, and if he does, I think that Fury's boxing ability could far outweigh Joshua's physical attributes. He's definitely physically better, but I think Fury just got that rhythm and style that could. It's a pick and fight.
Yeah, it's a 50-50. It's great for the fans. Certainly Britain as well. All the belts in.
It'd
Britain.
be nice if it happens over here, but then you've got the crowd. Is it going to be trouble? Like if it happens in Dubai, like it's going to be less trouble. But it would be a shame that fight ain't in front of 100,000 people. Like.
Well, I think the fact that Eddie's kind of leaked it already, that it sounds like it's done. We're waiting for venue, but I think what they'll do, one abroad in the summer because we can't have a crowd, and then the rematch, whoever loses. Of course, I reckon they'll probably do that in Cardiff, is what I've said, because it's got a closed roof, whereas Wembley ain't, and I think that still holds about 80.
Listen, it's because everyone talking about boxing, and for me, I'm saying the colleges, the more kids that want to come to colleges and do boxing, it's better for me, better for what my dream, my passion, or my idea to have this, that, and that. So kids coming through the door is brilliant.
Quality. And just before I let you go, then there is one more fight there's loads of fights coming up, but this weekend we got another Brit going for a world title. We spoke to Lawrence Okoli yesterday on the show, and he's very confident. What do you rate his chances on Saturday?
Yeah, listen, I think since he's gone to Shane McGuigan, he had a great training. He's been around Brian O'Shaughnessy, and he's been different training that, but Shane McGuigan's a great trainer, and the rhythm, I think he's done a great job with Fowler. Fowler looks rejuvenated, and I think what I've understood he done less of the S&C. Like, I don't believe in all the S&C, to be honest with you. Like if you watch all the old fights, everyone's going Marvin Hagler, great for, but like if you said to Marvin Hagler years ago, do a box jump or do something, like he probably wouldn't have done it. And I don't know if the fighters these days spend more time doing the conditioning than they do the boxing. when you look at my favourite fighter is Alexis Arguello, and that fight for...
Who was your favourite fighter?
Alexis Arguello. On my Legends, on my Legends badge, that's Arguello v Pryor. It was designed, and like they'd box at a frenetic pace for 15 rounds, and they knew nothing about amino acids and heart rate. Like an heart rate monitor, like is great. I understand it. But if you know your fighter, you know when he's tired, you know when he ain't. Like they didn't have heart rate monitors when Marvin Hagler was about, and everyone's gone mad saying, "Oh, Martin, he was a great fighter," but it was just old school shit. And I just think that people don't confuse boxing. There's too much. Like there is so much with the S&C now. And if I was going back to what I'm starting with, I think Fowler might have gone back to doing a lot of what Barry McGrew and Chamberlain done. It might not be so scientific, but he just looks looser. But it works with different fighters. But I don't think no fighters gassed out back in the 70s. You look at like
You're right.
Salvador Sanchez being Wilfredo Gomez. He's fucking a phenomenal fight, and they're both cut. They look like boxers. They've got that boxer's physique, and they probably run, hit bags, done a few core exercises, lift weights. I don't know. I mean, it was a fad year ago. Everyone was walking around with them fucking like altitude masks on. Everyone had an altitude mask. You don't see it now. I think everyone's looking for. I could be wrong, but everyone's looking for a new thing that's going to like give you that extra 1%. Well, if you fucking master 90% of boxing, you might not need the other. So they're spending more time doing S&C than boxing.
Yeah, I do
it's
get
a skilled sport, boxing. It's a skilled sport. It's too much pads, and like pads are like kick-ups, isn't they? Like a geezer doing pad work, like and so it's a freestyler at football. I'm going on and on.
No.
I can waffle. Like a freestyler at football doing kick-up, and all that on his shoulder. He can't play up front and on knee team, but he can freestyle the ball. So when they do it, I think Mayweather transcended it. Like they're doing all that pad work. But all the great fighters that went on. James Toney, Roy Jones Jr., Lennox Lewis at a late age, Floyd Mayweather, they were better at boxing. They weren't fitter and stronger than the boys they were beating. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely get it.
And they say a scientific guy who could absolutely shoot me down and tell me all this shit. And that's fair enough, but we all go back about the old school, and like there's another fighter, George Bennett and like Kid Cavalli, and you want Sugar Ray Robinson. They're fucking going at a pace. I don't think it's that much slower.
Well, they used to do 15 rounds and all, didn't they? So yeah,
decent.
And
if you watch old boxing, it's a fucking good. I mean, football's changed. Like the boots are better, the balls are light, and you get more. And like I say, all sports like. Am I waffling on?
No. You're essentially talking about the involvement of boxing.
Yeah, like involvement of boxing, but then so like motor racing. Like the geezer can still drive the car, Formula 1 driver, but his wheels are better, the car's better, the engine's better, the oil's better, so the cars go quicker. Blah 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 blah. Ding ding ding. It's one man and two gloves, right? And all that stuff, I don't know if it really does benefit you as much. So everyone's gone scientific with it, but it's still a geezer. And you're punching stuff, you're not jumping boxes, you're not sprinting. I understand heart rate and stuff like that, but then get your heart rate up punching. So if you do something that's where like you're not doing something that's specific to what you're doing, sometimes like I am a little bit like, because to be honest, I don't know the science side of it, so it's easy for me to go, I don't understand it. Someone could sit here and go, heart rate monitor, and I'd fully understand that, but they didn't have it. Sugar Ray Leonard didn't have an heart rate monitor.
Interesting, very interesting, especially considering you've been in the game for so long. Well, look, really enjoyed catching up with you. Great insight there in your career in the sport, and we look forward to maybe seeing some of your new turnover pros.
How long did I go on with that?
Enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, entitled betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.